to take a look at what would it be like to be a user of the ProxMox system. So if you set up ProxMox for yourself, what will the end user look like? Or if you're going to participate in one of the regional hackathon competitions, what does that look like as well? A lot of this stuff is done. A lot of the administration is done for the users on the back end. The users don't have to do any of the setup like what they had to do for VirtualBox. So when the user logs in, this is all that they'll see. They will see the list of machines that have been created and assigned to them, which allows it to be a lot simpler on the user. All that they need to know really is the login information, and then how to access these virtual machines in front of them. So similar to before, I've created a Kali Linux machine here, as well as a Metasploitable machine. I've actually created a couple of them, but I'll just take a look at the first two to kind of see how could I use these. You'll notice as you switch between them on the left, the important tab that we're interested in here is the console tab. And this just does a no VNC in across through a web browser to be able to access the video that I have for accessing the virtual machine. So these have the default credentials right now. I've got a password of TOOR, root backwards, Tor, to be able to log in. And now I have, just like before, instead of it not running locally, it's now running on MVCC's servers, MVCC's ProxMox server. Another kind of advantage you'll see some of the videos where I use this interface is in the upper right we have a console button where it will give me a pop-out. So I could run one virtual machine here in a pop-out, and then I could click on my next virtual machine and also run this one, hit console on this guy, and now run this one as well in a pop-out. And now I've got two virtual machines that I can kind of see side by side and monitor, and very, very useful, like I said, in a competition environment to be able to monitor what's going on across a couple different devices and switch quickly between them. So also the advantage of this allows multiple users to be logged in at the same time as the same user. So I could have different users logged in, all seeing this screen, even though maybe you have one person who's actually sitting there doing the typing, or one person who's sitting there doing the administration. Other people who are a little bit not quite as knowledgeable might be able to sit and learn and watch what the advanced users are actually doing to defend and attack their systems. So creates a really nice learning platform as well, just from the way users interact with that. Show one more nice little setting here on the back end. Under the hardware section, this is again something the administrator would set, under network device is where you'll see that we have specific virtual tags that have been created as well. So this one happens to be on a specific VLAN with a specific network tag, and that does all of the network isolation that we need. So only devices with this same exact information would be able to see each other. So right now you see I've got 666 with a tag of 777, which is the same as my other Kali Linux machine. So it is possible that these have been isolated, but they've been isolated together. And the way you can kind of test this as well is any one of these machines, if I were to this time open up Firefox and say, can I get out to mvcc.edu, can I get out to the internet? The answer, of course, will be no, we can't. This is a completely contained network. Server not found. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so we create a lot of our same sandbox environments for testing, but it's done all through virtualization. It is possible if you wanted to set up a DHCP server and have actual live internet with specific tags, you certainly could. And some of the tags that we do have live internet, and that would allow us to get updates on some machines or have internet access for some, and then others that we use for testing have different tags to which they're completely isolated. And the tags can be switched actually on the fly. The network connections can go. There is one other nice little setting to kind of be aware of if you do end up using VirtualBox, or excuse me, if you do end up using ProxMox at any point. There are times, a lot of it's when you adjust the resolution or you adjust the size of your browser, there are times where you'll notice the mouse in your virtual computer and the mouse on your screen do not line up, which gets really, really annoying because you try to click on something and your mouse is actually like 2 inches off. So it's just a visual bug that can be fixed by going to a full screen mode. So if you're clicked on console, not doing the pop-out, but right underneath that I can say full screen. This will usually line your mouse back up, and you can exit the full screen mode, just kind of resetting your browser. So if you do ever use ProxMox and you notice how your mouse isn't quite lining up across some browsers, just quickly pop it open to full screen and go back, and that's a quick way to fix that. Very useful. It's very frustrating when you don't realize what's going on with your mouse. And kind of like before, you do have shutdown commands. You could shut down the computer through the interface itself, but we do have shutdown and stop commands to be able to turn a machine off, to be able to reset it, to restart it, etc. So you've got a lot of the same control, but most of the administration is being done by an system administrator, not by the end user, which allows you to deploy things pretty rapidly to a lot of people without requiring the end user to know how to do all the system admin as well.